Hey, what's up, Sean? How you doing, man? It's been a little while. It's good. So today I'm going to be turning some stuff into some things. Okay? That's what we're going to be doing. Cool. Let's get to it. Gonna have some fun. Every day's fun. Yeah. Okay, so over here at the lathe, I gotta get this reconfigured here. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Boom. Come on, there we go. All right. I gotta swap out the tool rest here. Let's hop over here. That'll work for now. Swapping out the tool rest from a 6-inch to a 8-inch because we're going to be turning something that is a little bit longer than the 6 inches, and it's just annoying to have to shift the banjo around. So what's everybody been up to? Got some new word on our ebonite. Mentioned that a couple times, but if you're not sure what I'm talking about, the ebonite that I'm talking about, we ordered from Japan. It's a Nico ebonite, and the whole point of that is for setting up the my wood fountain pen series that I'm going to be doing here. It's going to be a lot of sleeving. So the ebonite that I'm going to be using is the Nico ebonite, and the cap is just going to remain the regular black ebonite, and then for the wood, it's going to be all different types of wood. So the goal is to get as many is to get as many different species of wood into a fountain pen as possible. So you want some? Well, we ordered some custom ebonite as well. So I assume that we're going to be getting about 15 meters or so of ebonite. I'll have to go back and look at the numbers, but it's about 10 meters of ebonite, I think. But it shipped today, maybe? Today or yesterday is when it shipped. So I suspect it'll be here in about, coming from Japan, about 3 weeks. But it's exciting because I've been working on the getting all the species of wood. Here, let's come back over here. I've been working on getting all the species of wood like onto a Google document, and the big thing about that is, you know, there's tons of species of wood, and it's crazy, man. There's so many different species, and a lot of it you can't get. So there is that. But hey, there you go. Nice, nice. Counts it not blanks for kits you got. Nice. I made a pin for my trainer, my fitness trainer. Gave it to him yesterday, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, yeah, it's about it. I think I got like, I don't know, I've said like 30 different species of wood right now. Um, but yeah, it's gonna have like the spreadsheet of like where I got it, and the relative cost and stuff like that, and the blanks. And but yeah, the ultimate goal is to basically build up my own collection and have like a little wood collection of fountain pens that are sleeved and kind of like little trophies, I guess. So I have to work on a display. So if you've got ideas for a display, I'd be down to take a look at those. Let's do this one. That's a good one. But yeah, I suspect that this is going to be a multi-year project. But you know what? It's one of those things that's just going to be kind of fun, enjoyable. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and turn Morty on. Let me know if it's too loud. I hope it's not. Messed with the volume a little bit, so hopefully it won't constantly pick that up, and it'll also pick up what I'm turning. But yeah, I got to finish up these here, and then we're moving towards some of the Snowman pens that I'm doing. I made a pretty cool one out of African black, and the other one I made was out of sorry, the top hat rather was made out of African blackwood, and then the other one was made out of the body. Sorry, the top hat was African black. The body was Colton maple. Sorry, that was painful. And then for the actual barrel of the pen, it was it's like a candy cane spiral. It was a twice casted blank. It's pretty cool. The silicone mold is from somebody that I saw on Facebook, and he makes the molds that I think his name is Armand. But yeah, pretty cool. And then my daughter has been taking it to school. I also made a video on it, so if you really wanted to see it, you can see what I was talking about. Oh, I don't have it handy. But the twice casting is pretty cool. We've done black and white. We've also done the red and white. So if you've seen some of those cool ones, cool things with the different, let me just show you an example of what I'm talking about here. It'll also say the name of who made it, I think. Yeah. Yeah, Armand. If you're on any of the Facebook groups, you probably see it. So basically what we wanted was a pattern that would kind of resemble a candy cane. And so basically these are one cast here, and then you take that part out, and then you put it here, and you cast it again. So it fills basically the opposite of what you did the first time. So these things are pretty neat. But yeah. Let's get mode. Yeah. That is what's on the docket today. So Sean, you got lives on the horizon? Good. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Ivan does all the blanks. I can't take the credit for those. Did you ever get that package? One of my complaints about this particular tool rest here, say, is that it doesn't go any lower. And I suppose typically that's not a problem, but it doesn't go lower. So it's kind of annoying, but they say it's more annoying to have to adjust it while doing any turning. Yeah. Like in the banjo, I wish it would just go down like another, I don't know, even quarter inch or so. Yeah, the stickers, man. Got to get some stickers for everybody. Well, from everybody and for everybody, both those things. And it's one of those community things, you know. You just, I appreciate you wanting to promote, but I also would like to promote you both, if you want to be. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Um, I'm trying to figure out ways to do giveaways on 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 lives. Just trying to figure out if YouTube has a thing with that, because I'm pretty sure some countries don't let that happen, or are not okay with that. So that's one of the things I got to look into when it comes to uh, giveaways. So I don't want to violate the TOS, you know. Yeah. Zebra wood, I love zebra wood. Actually, I actually have a pretty good size board of it that I'll be chopping into the blanks that I'll be using. That's leopard. Oh, leopard leather works. Yeah, I suppose I could. Yes, there we are. Got a nice big board of uh, zebra wood. And what size is this? So it's 3/4 by 3 by 36. So it's 36 inches long, 3 wide. So I'll be able to probably, I'll just cut them into 1 inch, really. And then I'll probably cut them into, so 36, 35, 7. So I'll cut 7 down. So maybe 1 inch by 7. 3, 4, 5, 6 ish, 7. Yeah. So be getting 1, 2, 3 by 7, 21, about 21 blanks out of this guy. And so that's kind of what I was talking about with, the giveaway stuff. I want to be able to do this thing, and I want other people to, be able to get get the wood that I'm working on, for one, and two, be able to put their own flair on whatever it is that they're doing. And so I suppose it would have to be a pretty thin thing, since it's going to be a 3/4 by 1 by 5 or 6. Yeah, zebra wood slim kits, nice. I haven't done. Well, I take that back. I did do one kit, like I was talking about, with for my trainer. Um, some people, when you make a fountain pen, some people don't really view a fountain pen as an everyday carry. And I totally understand that. So here's that. They do giveaways all the time. That's cool. We've done something like that before. Um, and one of the biggest, I guess, sticking points that we had for a while was how we were going to implement the, I guess, the video portion of it. 'Cause I've done some lives where people were able to see something live, and some people were able to, be able to get it at that point, and then I'd turn it, and so they would have like the opportunity to see what it was uh, getting, and so they could actually see it made and stuff. So I think that's a pretty cool little flair on it's that stuff like that. You got some wingy the same size. You're talking about the board size, the 3 by 36 by 3/4. Because yeah, there were some good deals. I was going to Woodcraft, well, and actually Rockler. There's a Rockler near me as well. So I'm pretty fortunate in that regard. Nice. Yeah, I mean, those things are a pretty good ROI, I would say, if you're able to actually move them. I mean, if you think about, from a perspective of selling them, well, and making them, really, they're pretty inexpensive to make. A slimline, I think the kit costs anywhere between like $1 and $3, and then when you get a board, like that board was $20, and they'll be able to get 21 blanks out of it. So, they're only in for about $3 per pen, which is pretty cool when you think about it. But you still have to have the equipment and machinery to break it down into smaller, manageable sizes, and have the know-how to turn it into what you're trying to turn it into. So I'd say all those things are contributing factors. But Sean, since you turn a lot of wood, man, well, I assume that do you turn a lot of wood? I'll start there. I'm thinking the way that I'm going to do the wooden pins is I'm going to be basically doing some dry sanding. I'll do dry sanding from like 120 to 600, and then I wasn't going to CA them because they're primarily going to be for display. I don't really intend on using these particular things. It'll primarily be just for adding to my collection. So I was just thinking like I mean, I've got Odie's. I'm not sure if I'll use Odie's, but I've also thought about using just a regular friction polish, like Crystal Cut or Mylan's friction polish. And I've also got Triple E, but I got to figure out like what sequence I'm going to do for that. So if you've got any suggestions on that, I'd gladly listen to them. I mean, I've got a lot of different things for like Odie's. Like this isn't even open. It's still on. I haven't opened it, but I've heard that a lot of people use that for furniture. Not so much pens. Then I've got some Aussie oil and then some yellow wax. I've also got like shellac, and I got a lot of different types of finishes. That's how I learn, at least the expensive way. I'm gonna try all this stuff out and see it for myself and see if that's what I'm going for. So, but basically, I'm just trying to have a standard that I always finish them, and yeah, I want to be able to standardize how I finish them and be able to apply that to all of them. And I understand that I might have to swap up my technique for some wood. For example, like palm, black palm. I'm really not looking forward to turning black palm. But I guess that's just the way it goes. Gotta do it. And I guess technically, from my understanding, black palm isn't wood. What is it? There's something that we consider, that we look at as wood, but I don't think it is. I thought it was black palm, but it might not be. But the fibers on that is just so incredibly inconvenient. I tried to turn it and it just kept breaking apart. And I know the whole CA while you're turned, and I'm not into that. So I'm gonna have to find a different way. And I've got some ideas already. Sand, seal, sand again. What do you seal them with? Because I'm thinking I'm just going to, like I said, sand from 120 to 6, and then, like I said, friction polish with Crystal Hut or Mylan's, or I haven't tried Odie's, so I can't really put that on my my list of viable options yet. But I have used friction polish, so. The other design sticking point that I've got is I'm going to be using an M15 and an M11. I actually made it. It's inside, because I was writing down the other measurements and everything. But I'm going to be using an M15 for the capture barrel, and then an M11 for the section, maybe. So it's going to be a pretty big one. That way I can hopefully have more wood to display. At least that was the idea of it. But because of that, you'll be able to mount it back up if I don't like the finish, then be able to change it if it really wanted to. So there is that. Yeah, I've got quite a bit of notes, and one of the other things that I'm still trying to figure out is how I'm going to identify them. I got the idea of alphanumeric, where I'm going to make them, and they're going to be a number. The number will be the first part, and then the letter will be the second part, because there's no way I'm going to make more than 26 of anything. Well, of any of the specific wood, we'll say. So, kind of one of those things that I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to label it, whether it's going to be on the pen or the display. I'm thinking it's got to be on the pen somehow, but I don't know how. I thought about a finial. Thought about having like a disc on the finial from the same species of wood. So the cap's just going to be the ebonite. So I don't know. I don't know quite yet. I'm going to have to do a trial of it for sure, and then determine if that's the way to go. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do one a day, or one a week, I mean. So at that rate, I'd be able to do 52 a year. But establishing that process is the one of the most time-consuming things. As you probably know, you won't have a 100% solution to everything. You will have like a 90% solution to everything. Hopefully. At least that's my hope. Or my goal. And a goal without a plan is just a fish. And it is a quote that I heard somewhere else. I didn't just make that up. Then the other thing I was trying to think about, or wonder how I was going to do, is how or what sequence am I going to do on there? Like, I've got some already, but like, what would be the first one? You know? So that's another thing I'm thinking about. What the first one's going to be, and you know, is there going to be any sort of reason or purpose to that, or is it just going to be random as we go? I mean, either way, I'm indifferent about it. Heck, I could even just put all the woods that I've got on a wheel and then spin it, and you know, that's actually a good idea. I might do that. That way, nobody knows, including me. Make it more fun. So with the ebonite actually shipping out, that means that I'm going to have to Make some more progress on the design of it. Bada bing, bada boom. Man. Wait a second. Is that Oliver? I think that's Oliver. Uh-oh. Something in there. I just felt it. Weird. There must have been a little schmeckle in there. Hey, I was right. I was trying to remember your name. So, come on, I know this. I know this. Been hanging around for a little bit. Well, it's good to see you again, man. What you working on? Boom. And by the way, these do get sanded. Just not by me. They go over to Abby. She sands and polishes them. So I got, like, I think one of the best jobs in the world. In the world. No, I love it. It's nice and hot. Don't you love it? Really hot in here? Well, leave it on then. Let's see. Oh, nice. So it's been cold in the workshop lately, and we ended up getting a 30,000 BTU heater from the 10,000 that we used to have, and it pumps, man. It puts out a lot of heat. So it's like directly behind me, and I think outside it's like 55 or something like that, or 60. But in the sun, you know, it feels pretty good. But then when you get that breeze, it's like a really cold. But it's toasty in here. But Abby's hands are like always wet from wet sanding, so she wants to make it nice and warm in here. But I don't blame her. I don't blame her. And it's a small price to pay. Small price to pay. Shoot, I used to be out here in the with nothing. I used to just have a fan blowing, and I had the like the outdoor lights, like the DeWalt outdoor lights that that just radiate heat. My God, those are hot. Oh, it's 80 there? That's nice. Heck yeah. I like that weather. But yeah, it's what, 71 in the shop right now. Yeah. Oh, Burr, it's cold. So cold. That's nice, Sean. I don't remember what number this is. I think it's 38, but yeah. Okay. What you said you were making a kit pen? To do out of the wood, zebra wood. Good, good. And the I mean, it is holiday season, so a lot of people are trying to get as much as they can done and whatnot. I'm more of a, you just keep doing. I mean, you just, I don't know. You want to make 10 pins a day? Make 10 pins a day. And there you go. And then eventually, you'll accumulate so much and build up enough reputation and all that, and experience and skill, and then, well, everybody will want them. And you'll be in a good position because you'll have a decent amount of inventory. At least I suppose that's the goal. Huh? That's the other thing about consistency, I'd say, that I really need to work on personally. And speaking of consistency, working on my scheduling, which I have been for like ever. So it is hard, man, to come up with a stream schedule because that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because I'm in the shop all the time. It's just sometimes I'm working on random stuff, and other times I'm doing some like I'm like in a production mode, and sometimes I'm like I don't know, trying to figure out how to do what it is that I want to do for the next run or whatever. But such is life, you know. I should make bottle stoppers if I have a ton of them, but I just haven't. Those are good gifts. Although I gotta say, if you have made the bottle stoppers, when you put them on wine, I'd say that they're not really ideal. I'll show you why, but I just don't think that they're all that ideal because of how big they are. They're so tall. And for example, my mom, she'll use it if she has a wine that doesn't go in the refrigerator. But if it does go in the refrigerator, she'll only use that bottle stopper if it goes in the door. So it has to be a smaller bottle of wine. And so it's one of those weird things that I don't know why people make the bottle stoppers so large. But then again, maybe that is an opportunity presenting itself to me or somebody else that just happened to hear it or is wanting to make their own kit. Yeah. These kits are just so I can't knock them because they work, right? But I wouldn't say that they're ideal, at least for the applications that I have experienced. So I guess that's my thoughts on that in particular. It'd be good if it stayed outside of the refrigerator, and it would also be good if it was a smaller bottle and in the outside of that, if it is a normal bottle that you want to put in like the shelf of your refrigerator, it's going to have to lean because of how tall the stopper is. And that's partially on me of how tall I make it, but it's also like you know, how steep of an angle and how much material is here. Well, you've been on a high-speed lathe kick? Nice. I like, see, I think that was going like 34 hundo. That's how fast I was turning just then. The Jet 1221 goes to 36, I think is what they advertise. But you got to consider, like, when you're pushing this into the headstock, it's only going to spin so fast because it's got that little bit of resistance and the drag. But yeah, there's some really small lathes. Some small lathes go so freaking fast, like 10,000+, which just is kind of crazy to me. It's like, my goodness. If only you could sand that fast conveniently. All right, so actually I got one over here that's already kind of made. Mm-hmm. Okay. So here's my bottle stopper stuff here. I have a specific one for testing. The top over here. So here we are. This is what I do with the blanks. I turn them into cylinders, and then I drill them. I have a stop collar on it, so drills in to the depth I want, and then I thread it. And this also has a stop collar that is adjustable, so I just tap it to that point. And the reason this stop collar is also on it is because I used to turn it like this. I used to turn it while it was on the tap until I got the actual appropriate mandrel for it. So now I can use the appropriate mandrel for it, but here's where the problem comes in. So you're trying to do reasonable shapes where it's not too big, it's not too small. You're trying to do it where it's just right, you know? So this was for, I guess, a different bottle stopper. There we go. Okay. So let's hop over here so I can show you a little closer. So one bottle stopper will take it to here, and you can see that the taper of my blank here is much narrower than the outside of this, and that's because the other bottle stopper that I was using was a bit smaller, but I don't use that one anymore. this is also one of the very annoying things. And that's a part of why you can glue it, or you can just wrap some the thread stuff for pressure. Not Kevlar tape, but there's a different kind of tape. I don't remember what it is. Kind of like this. It's just a thin tape that goes onto stuff that you're using. Anyway, so that's problem one, is that this double-sided thing comes out, which, not a terrible problem, it's just annoying when you're trying to do it, right? And so, here's another one that is this, which is the correct size, but when it's actually screwed in, it only goes to about right here. It only goes to about right here, which means that out of the bottle, it's going to be sticking up 2.5 inches. And this isn't a huge one. And I could make the blank smaller. But if I were just to use the bare minimum, it would still be really tall of how far it will stick out of the bottle, at least. And like I said, so these are the stoppers, right, that go into the bottle to make it so the liquid doesn't come out. But then you measure it, you're still looking at about 2 inches, because we're measuring it at to that point, so that's about 2 inches sticking out of the bottle already. You know what I mean? It's just kind of crazy, because they're not what I want. I like your style, my friend. Open, and I enjoyed it. Thank you. I like it. But there's those that let's see, indulge heavily. There, that's a way to say it. That indulge heavily, they tend to open a couple, 2, 3, and they probably won't drink that many. But you know, I can't speak for everybody. Let's see if we got a different one that is off. Hey, that one's a little bit off. This one be just a regular. This will be an alpha. But yeah, that's the Navy way. Not sure. Not sure. I mean, my experience with the Navy, they were pretty heavy drinkers, but kind of think if you work really hard and stuff, then you know what, go for it. Okay. Or if you just want to do it, okay. It's the people that get belligerent that bother me. If you know that you're not a very pleasant person to be around, you're consuming, I think that you're not really someone that I want to be around. It's just kind of obnoxious. Anyway, I digress about the suckers. But they do make great gifts. It's just unfortunately for some of the stoppers, I'd say that their functionality is a little bit lacking. So Maybe they are not necessarily for the purpose I was using them for. It could be made for larger bottles or larger opening bottles. I don't know. Yeah, everyone sells it for the cost of kit and blank. I don't know. There might be a $5 profit in there. Have you seen the diamond painting kits? There's now a kit for diamond painting things. I think PSI, I think, had it. And some people like them because of the it adds a little bit of heft. Um, so there's that. And it could be useful. Get crap links from Alibaba. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you kind of get what you pay for in that case. Although I will say sometimes the crap blanks that you get are better than some of the makers. Some people that are like just starting out with casting and they're like, yeah, I'm going to start recouping my money immediately. Like, come on, man. No, don't do that. I'm all for having a business and everything. You should. But I also think you should embrace the process and not expect that you're a pro when you start off. Some people have been making blanks for like a week and they're like, yeah, check out my blanks. They're like $10 to $20 each. And you're like, my goodness. Yeah. I just find that a little bit weird. The other thing that I find weird is in some Facebook groups, um, they'll put so much chunky stuff in the blank. And you know what? I like chunky stuff inside the blank as much as the next person. However, turning and finishing that is a very different story. And a part of me thinks that if you haven't turned your own stuff, then you should probably turn your own stuff with a whole bunch of chunks in it and see what it is that you should be recommending as far as the process of turning for your the blanks that you're selling. I might have messed that up. But what speed am I turning at? Hey, Tom, how you doing? I'm turning at it's 3470 right now. Yep, 34. Yeah, I'll typically turn around 34, 35. I won't go max just because it starts making a different sound and I don't like it. And then I can definitely tell when I'm turning at about 2000 because you're really not making progress when you're doing it anywhere close to how you would be making progress if it was spinning much faster. But yeah, this is also Alumilite, so yeah, 34, nice. Yeah, yeah, I was gonna, I guess, wear that point out, but oh, 32, 31. Okay. Hmm. Hey, you're doing great. Good, good, good. 3,400, yeah, 3,470, so almost 35. Um, and then acrylic, yeah, acrylic's frustrating, and it's also stinky. When you turn it, it's, to me, it has a CA smell to it. I don't like that. Like a super glue smell to it when you're doing it. Um, so I typically avoid acrylic, I'll be honest. However, if you do like the finish of acrylic, you know, I'd say that the finish of acrylic can be a much nicer finish than Alumilite. Not much nicer, but you can get it even smoother, I'd say, because of how hard it is. But I don't personally think that justifies turning it for me. So that's just my thoughts on it. I suppose unsolicited thoughts on it. But yeah. Like a nail salon? Yes. Yep. Like a nail salon. Yeah, the smell. But yeah, I have turned acrylic, and one of my main problems with acrylic is that you have to be very aware of the temperature of what you're doing, because if you do start getting it too hot, it'll start losing its shape. And if you're doing any sort of drilling, you can also run into problems from it getting too hot, and it'll open it up a lot. So if you're trying to do any threading in it, um, good luck. A lot of people have great success with it, but I think that they're also rather using a constant stream of liquid in order to keep its temperature down while they do it. And they might be doing a little bit more pet type of drilling instead of like longer drilling, if that makes sense. Hey man, it's not a stupid question. You don't know, you don't know. Alumilite. Alumilite is a resin brand that makes all kinds of resins for all different types of purposes. But Alumilite Clear and Alumilite Clear Slow are probably the best for this type of turning. Um, and then there's also different formulas that serve different purposes. So the reason that they're good is because the work time is relatively small, and the set time and demold time is also relatively small. If you're using a different type of resin from Alumilite or anywhere, like Total Boat is also another one that has like deep set or deep blue type of stuff. And um, the reason those are like slower setting is because they're not going to be used with a pressure pot. So let's see. That's probably a really long-winded answer, kind of deviating. Get back on track here. Um, you have some that you bought to cast your own. Yes. So there's a lot of different types of resins, but this is Alumilite Clear Slow. But you can use Alumilite Clear or Clear Slow. Um, some of them they cure harder. Sometimes what you put in them will mess with the properties and their hardness. So, for example, if you put some liquid pigments into it, if you put too much, you can end up getting it soft. Or, um, mica powder. If you overdo the mica powder, you can cause it to become a little more powdery. But there's a lot of stuff to know and learn about it, and ultimately you're just going to have to experiment with it. Um, that is correct. Alumilite is not the same as acrylic paint from woodcraft. That is correct. I think Rockler actually does have some casters that use Alumilite though, and that may be a local thing. So I'm not positive about that, but you can get them like that. But Alumilite is the one that we've pretty much used once we figured it out. But there is like Total Boat, which has a lot of good stuff that some people use for turning. I've tried Stones. We've tried the stuff from Tim McKenzie's shop. But not his stuff, but the formula that he used to use, I guess. We've gotten some of that. So we've tried a lot of different. We've even tried some of the other Alumilite, and one of the biggest problems that we were running into was it was sometimes not curing, and then sometimes it would take a week for it to cure, like on the inside. See or pick up on whatever it is that you kind of notice different properties. Like one of them, I think it was Stones. So when Stones resin was around, we tried that out, and it was kind of like turning glass. Like you were able to turn it, but it was pretty hard. And even if you're using something like carbide, it would still kind of chip or crackle like Alumilite or acrylic, I mean. And then the other thing about it is it was kind of weird because when you heated it up, it would actually start to get soft, like really soft. It's like once you hit that threshold, it's like, wah, just kind of almost melty, where it wasn't like a progressive sort of thing, if that makes sense. But yeah, I could probably go on and on a little while about this, but at the end of the day, there's a lot to learn about it, and but I'd say Alumilite is the one to go for if you are going to turn pens, that is. But don't get me wrong, Total Boat's good stuff too, but I'd say for different applications. But I can't speak for all of them because that would imply that I've used them all, you know? I can only speak for what I've used. At least intelligently. Where are yes. They do have some acrylic. I just don't really use it. I also find that could be I guess from a perspective of trying to get people involved in turning, I think turning acrylic could be a huge deterrent because they're really annoying to turn. And I think people trying to learn how to use the tools is a not forgiving material. So I don't think that that's the best material or ideal material to learn how to turn on or with. So if I could go back, I would have learned that lesson sooner and then moved away from it. Didn't. So hopefully I can steer people in a way that, you know, makes them enjoy it more than they're stressing about it, at least in the beginning. Because I do think that you should have experience turning everything. At least that's my 2 cents. I think you should turn everything that you can. That way, at least you have an intelligent or a perspective that's coming from experience. You know what I mean? But yeah, I actually have an acrylic one that didn't end up working out how I wanted it to. And that's because I got it too hot. And then I tried to thread it, and it was not going to take a thread because it opened up too much. So at that point, you got to do one of two things. You either have to start with a smaller bit or constantly keep the thing cool to make sure that you're not making it the hole too large to where the threads won't actually engage when you're trying to put the components together. Now Purple Heart for the ladies. No. Nice. No clip. Nice, nice. Have you tried the whole torching it technique before? Some people have done that, and it just makes it darker. I mean, I was kind of underwhelmed. It's like, check out this epic transformation of Purple Heart. I'm like, Purple Heart, I got some of that. Let me go investigate. Check this out. And then you're like, okay, well, that was underwhelming. But it is interesting, I suppose, because not a lot of types of wood that do that. Although when you get a wood, when you put like a CA or something on wood, or any kind of oil really onto a wood, it's going to change its appearance, because that's just what it does. It makes it a little bit darker, but it also makes that pop. Yeah, man. Oh, missed a step here. Very nice. Yeah, Tom, I hope that answered your question. There's a lot to it, ultimately, but you can really simplify it down. So there is that too. Did I cast out number 2 already in it? You talking about these? No. I put the holes in them. And also, it doesn't go all the way through. Now, I suppose you could do it all the way through, and that would be a potential avenue to make it overall lighter. But you'd also have to think about the diameter that you're making it. So whatever hole that you drill on the inside, you need to make it thick enough still to make sure that it's not going to break, if you know what I mean. You can't have it be too thin of wall because you'll run into other problems if that's the case. Especially if you go to sand it and they're not wet sanding. That's the other thing that people don't think about sometimes is when you're wet sanding, you're mitigating heat, right? Because it's already wet. But on the other hand, if you are wet sanding and you can't feel the heat because your hand's already cold, and you're not really noticing, the temperature of the material is going to change, and you can run into issues, especially if it's a thin piece. So those types of things you'll just have to practice and figure out, which, you know, in my opinion, that's a part of the fun, is learning all this stuff and, you know, enjoying the process of it all. And so that's one of the reasons why I like streaming and talking to people, because I love doing it. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people have a lot of different experiences and stuff like that. So. Nice. You turned some slims with one piece of purple heart, another with blue or red heart. Nice. Well, good stuff. You're already doing some segmenting. I gotta show you this. All right. Because you said kind of the same recipe that I was calling for. I gotta show you. These are some of the first things that I made when I started segmenting. Pretty excited about it. They're pretty, they've been out here in the workshop, but I got these here. So you can see that this is mahogany, maybe. I think this is mahogany. And then this is purple heart. And then down here on this one, that's a Padu. And then, yeah, and then there's a purple heart. So I did some segmenting as well. And they're pretty cool little cups. I'd never drink from them. They're more of a decoration piece. I should probably clean them up and put them inside, but I haven't. But yeah, that was one of my earliest segmenting. And then this is just a straight up cedar. And this is when I was not very smart, because I don't know if you know necessarily how they get the blanks typically for bowls, but it's basically, this is the center of the tree, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna chop the tree, like take it from a vertical slice. Then that's, you know, how I did it. It spun like that, took a slice, basically did it. Yeah. But ultimately I should have taken it from like here, a slice like this. And that's usually how they are. That way you don't have this knot here. Anyway, that was what, Eastern cedar. Yeah. Heck yeah, Tom. That's the biggest thing some people, they get so angry about failures that they're not really thinking about using it as a learning experience. Like, that was one of my biggest blocks too, actually, because you're paying like $10 for a blank. This is before we started making our own blanks, but you're making these blanks and you're like, I hope this turns into something. And it kind of goes back to what I was talking about, where people are immediately trying to recoup the money that they put in. Don't do that. That's really not a good way to do that, because you're creating, if you're trying to sell something before you've figured out really how to do it, it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? Do it, bro. But then again, you have to be okay with the perception of it as well, because if that's what you got, and that's what people see of what you're doing, then that's going to be kind of the standard that they expect, and they're going to compare you to other makers. So it's one of those things that there's a lot of people that make pens that do a great job, and so competing with them is a really interesting thing. And you're not really competing with them. You're not competing. Let me rephrase that. You're not competing with them. You have to be thinking about it from a consumer point of view, because they are going to be like, this is a handmade pen for this person, this is a handmade pen for this person, and they're going to show people. And if they're showing other makers as well, they will come to different conclusions depending on your different level of work and skill. I think I cleaned that up nice. Hey, how you doing? Let's see, Mike. So, Mike, I was thinking about that thing that you were talking about for your segmenting. It is. Just use your trick with the file on the wood. Heck yeah. That's actually my plan for when I do. I actually got another set of file. And the reason I did that was because I knew that I was going to be doing, see, got another set of files here. Because I knew that I was going to be doing the stupid, what is it called? The palm, the black palm. And you can call it turning it all you want to, but you're not. You're probably going to end up doing more sanding than anything. But yeah, man, the file trick is a good one. It's a good one. I like to call it a cheat code, you know? If you're going for a straight, flat surface, that's one of the quick and easiest ways. A lot of people talk about like getting blocks and whatnot and putting sandpaper on it. I'm like, dude, this already exists, and you don't have to waste any sandpaper. But you know what? You do however you want. But yeah, I'm glad it worked out for you, man. Let's see. But yeah. Anyway, going back to not getting it the first try, it's really the cost of tuition. If you're trying to learn a different skill, it's going to cost a little bit up front. You can't just jump in and expect everything to work perfectly every time. So that's a part of why you practice with stuff. And then if you really want to have good practice, I'd say that you need to practice with what you want to turn. Ultimately, there are exceptions to an extent. Like, I'm not going to start turning a piece of 2x4 if I want to start turning African blackwood. Those are very different. Or ironwood. But just knowing that there's going to be different properties and different stuff like that is, it just is what it is. You have to take your time and give yourself time to learn. There are lathe files. No, I didn't know that. But yeah, I use a file all the time. Anytime I'm doing like a straight something, I'll turn it best as I can to get it nice and flat. And then I'll go back and I'll use the file to get it the rest of the way flat and straight as I can. And then I'll go back and sand it with a finer grip. So, no, I didn't know that, but that is interesting. It's probably more expensive to do it that way too. Call it a lathe file. It's like, oh man, a lathe file? Heck yeah, it's probably different than a rasp. But yeah, so for that pen idea you were talking about, as far as like segmenting, there was one thought that was using rivet and rivet nuts, where the different pieces have those male-female sides. And I think that would be a pretty consistent way to accomplish that. And then the other thing I was thinking about is actually from a bottle stopper. So taking a look at the bottle stopper, you have this that has a thread on both sides, where you just create the thread on one side, and then basically this little nipple will stick out, and then you can put it on, you thread the other side to make it interchangeable like that. So just letting you know, I was still thinking about what you said, and that's one of my curses, I guess. I'll just continue thinking about something until I come up with an idea that I think is good enough for it. Like literally, I will lose sleep thinking about those types of things. But Sean, you call those study pieces? That's not a bad little name there. But yeah, I call it tuition. It's like, for anything, it's just, you got to learn. And I guess it kind of goes back to sports, and in my military. So you train how you fight, you know. So you play how you practice, and you practice how you play. So I guess it's one of those things where you just got to do it. I mean, I don't know what else. You could also turn something like that in brass with a built-in beauty ring. Yeah, man, you absolutely could, for sure. Heck yeah. Look at that. See, you're just leveling up that idea. And this is exactly why having a community and other people from different backgrounds and different interests and stuff like that, that's how things become even more creative. Even more creative, more refined. All those types of things. So, I like that. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm doing an asymmetrical. Yeah, man. It was totally in your dream last night with the threaded segments. Nice, man. Did you come up with a way to execute it? Or what you were going to use, or anything like that? Oh, only way was to use a metal lathe? Yeah. Even metal lathes, you can get things off, like forwarding. You can get things at a round or offset. And conversely, I guess, you could also get things on the wood lathe pretty darn good. I think it has to do with the actual run out of whatever it is that you're doing. And part of that's like a looking at Swiss lathes that push out just a little bit of material at the time. And if you think about that, the reason it's doing that is because it keeps it the most structurally sound you're doing it, but it also uh, makes it so it is, dead center when you're doing it. Because if it's shorter, it's going to have less flex or bend or anything like that. Whereas if it's stick, I don't know, a couple inches out from a collet or from a metal lathe, 3-jaw or whatever, it's going to get a little wonky if it's unsupported when you're doing anything. Are these all pins, Tom? Yeah, they are. Um, the concentricity. Man, Mike, you got all kinds of crazy words, man. I know what it is, but my goodness. Still got to sound that one out. The centrifugal force or consistent. Messing me up. Yeah. And then threads can be the enemy. Yeah, they can, especially if you're too far out, I'd say. So if you're using a wood lathe and you have a collet, you can stick it in like as close as you can to the collet, although you could potentially have other problems that I could tell you about. But yeah, if you're the closest as you can be to the middle of it, or the part that's spinning, I think you could have it be consistently centered very nicely. Yeah. Oh, nice. Nice. I can't wait to learn about what the heck that is. What is a tensegrity? My goodness. We had an octosphericon before. Let's take a look at, sound like a, what is it, a transformer. Okay, let's look at the goblet. A tensegrity. Goblet. Okay. Oh, that's an offset thing. That's cool. Is it going to be cylindrical or is it going to be like the things that defy gravity kind of look, or looks like they defy gravity? Is the different strings? So how? Upright. Well, that's going to be really cool. I'd show you, but I haven't figured out how, well, I haven't set up rather um, the way to show my computer screen on stream. That's really cool. It's very cool. So, Tom, what do you normally turn? You see what Mike turns. Well, you got to look up what Mike turns, but you know that he turns stuff that's complicated. Impressive nonetheless. So, okay. Two partial rings, the captive ring. Nice. Is it going to be for your own personal collection? Or is it going to be a gift? Or you going to go into your store or what? Oh, that's not going to do it. You made it before, and then you gave it away and got giver's remorse. Oh, man. An angel saver all the way. Yeah. I'll be like a man will saver. Wooden pins, top, lidded boxes, and bowls. Nice. Just getting started? Nice. Got the lathe after a pen class. Did you do the pen class at Woodcraft? And is she still in the shop? My wife, I'm a self-taught turner. Um, used a little bit of the resources that were out and about at the time, but at the end of the day, it's just a trial and error. But she is not a turner. She doesn't like putting a sharp edge to something that's spinning really fast. I guess she has a thought that it's going to fly up and hit her in the face or something. Which is a legit thing if you're working on like Fordite. Fordite can like delaminate and hit you in the face. Oh, hey. Yeah, mandrels are kind of weird. Like, for my mandrel saver towards the live center side, because it goes in and has that little bit of space. If I'm pushing in with my tool, like with my cutting edge, it'll sometimes vibrate. So that was one of the problems that I had. That's a part of why I started using a file, because that's one of the ways that was resolved. You did it in Virginia Beach, do a woodcraft in Virginia Beach. You have opted for the face shield. Good, good. Yeah, I'd say that's probably the best bet. I still wear glasses. Always. You always want to protect your eyes, at the very least. And then the dust collection. You see me pulling the noodles off and everything, but it's collecting the dust portion of it. And then another thing that I've got here is a atmospheric monitor. So this shows over here the different parts. So some masks that we wear, like chest filtration masks, they're rated for like PM2 particles or particulate matter or something like that. What is it called? I think it's particulate matter, but it's in 2.5 microns, and then this other one is 10 microns. And this is telling me what is in the air right now. Also telling the temperature and the VOCs, volatile compounds, and the carbon dioxide. So this thing's pretty handy. And it wasn't until we got that we realized that there were chemicals that were like immediately coming out of resin. Now, hindsight, chemical reactions put off something, whether or not you can smell it. So us being a little bit dumb in the beginning, it didn't really cross our mind, really. So I'm not sure if they have that one anymore, but there's other atmospheric monitors that you can take a look at. But basically, you don't want your hobby to end you. You don't want that to be a conclusion, you know? But yeah, the dust collection, it works. It works pretty well. And it also takes the noodles sometimes. And there is a more efficient way I could do this, but I don't have the space right now for setting up another little, I think it's called a vortex chamber, but that would actually separate the particles and the noodles. So I wouldn't have to keep taking the noodles out of the dust collection because it's got a filter on the motor part where it's pulling it out, or spinning rather. But yeah, I'd say it's worthwhile, especially if you're just getting into it and you're kind of unsure about what it is to be aware of or what to be worried about. Because like a really basic rule of thumb, and this is by no means the safest way to do anything, but if you can smell something and it doesn't smell right, that's like one of the earliest signs to know that what you're doing could be dangerous to you or your health. So that's not like the best guideline, but it's at least a start. If it smells different, you probably should look more into whatever that is if you're going to be around it a lot. So that's just my 2 cents on that. But hey, YOLO, no, you know? All right, so we got a snowman coming up here. So this snowman, I did it last year, and it ended up being really cool. So I basically did the hat, and then it had the bill, and then it had the smaller, and then bigger parts. And then I made the grip about here. So I'm gonna actually have to think about this. Oh man, that's very unfortunate. I saw a video by a resin artist develop some bad long-term health problems. That sucks. That sucks. Um, I mean, I'll be honest. It's one of those things where you could have only been exposed to it once, and then that's what caused it. You could have been exposed to it like daily, and then maybe it never happened. But oh, you're doing some olive wood? I've got some olive wood. I got a lot of olive wood. And see, I want to give some of this stuff away. I just got to figure out how I'm going to do it. There's 4 and got a box of it. Yeah. Yeah, olive is good. It's nice. It's a good wood. I also kind of like the smell of it too. It's a good smelling wood. Then you got to get the good graded whatever it is, the high quality graded or whatever. Show rated. Anyway, this is like the highest grade, but who's grading it? The person selling it to you? Like, oh yeah, I got the best stuff, you know? Yeah, whatever, dude. Just give me the stuff. Got a woodologist over there telling you that this blank's gonna be like AAA or whatever. You blow it up. It is surprisingly olive wood when I'm trying to turn it. If I'm just turning it the wood itself, I'll find that it can split a little easier than some other woods. So when you're using the live center dead center for turning it, got to be careful because if you're pushing too hard, it's going to cause it to come out. Cut that out. You cut that out. You got to sand it. You got to keep sanding it. You got to sand it out. Briarwood that pipe makers use? Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, my alarm hasn't gone off. 1 second, let me check the timer. 30 minutes. If you want to set a timer. Hey, 30 minutes. If you want to set a timer. Let's see, sorry. Briarwood. Oh, yeah. So I went to the Renaissance Festival recently, and there was a person there that had their stand set up, and they were making like Gandalf pipes and stuff like that, which I think is really cool. It's not really my cup of tea, but it's really cool. And part of why it's not my cup of tea is because I don't use pipes. So, but I do find them appealing, really, really neat and interesting. But yeah, it's really cool to see them do that, and some of the wood that they were using was really awesome. Although I gotta say, for me personally, one of my fears is using something like that somebody is going to light and breathe. You're like, ugh, you're just setting yourself up, it seems. I don't know. Maybe that's just my paranoia, but that's what I think about. Because it's one of those things where you don't want to hurt the customer. You know what I mean? So I don't know enough to be comfortable doing that. So I will not do it until I know more about it. So there is that. Epoxy olive wood. Yeah. You know, there's something, I don't know. Maybe it's sometimes, depending on what it is, I'll have the mindset of I won't even bother trying to salvage the blade. And that's partially because it's going to take me more time to try and salvage it. And there's the other part of it that I don't think it'll actually end up looking all that cool if and when I were to do it. So, yeah. So there is that. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and draw out some of my marks here. Yeah, the worst wood I ever dealt with was black palm, and eventually I'll get back to it, and I'm going to have a completely different approach when I do it. But yeah, black palm, have a nice big old chunk that I tried to do, but you can see all these little polka dots, basically. Those are fibers, wood fibers. And when you're trying to turn it, it's like these things like to split out. So if you've never turned it, I don't suggest it because of how much of a pain it is. However, I have to. Yeah, that's what it is. I think it is a grass. Yes. I think you're right. I think it is a glass. Let's see. Where are we? Okay, here we go. So we'll start at 1 1/4 and see where we are. This way, 1 1/4. So this is going to be the grip. Okay. Then we're going to have, let's see, the top of the hat. So this is going to be there. It's going to drop down. So we're going to move this just a little bit away to where this has got plenty of room. So about 1/4 inch. This is going to have same 1/4 inch or so. And this is going to have the top hat. It's going to be about 1/2. And then that's going to be that. So there's the brim. And then how much do we have now? So we've got, say, about 2 inches. So we need to divide. So this is going to be a good chunk here. And then this one's going to be here. This needs to come here. Okay, so this needs to get smaller actually. And then this will get just a little bit smaller as well. Okay. Here's the grip section. Hat, head, middle body, lower body. We need to take a look at that. So we're going to be there. Okay. Yeah, that's a good name for it, Sean. But yeah, I gotta say, people that make that material work, man, it looks good. Some people are extremely talented, and I don't know exactly how they do it, but it is impressive. And my next approach is going to be basically using a belt sander to get it rounded, and then I'm going to use a file to get it the rest of the way. So I'm pretty much not even going to use any turning tools. So that'll be my plan for it. Because I've been thinking about that one and how. Okay, so it's the hat. Here's the head. And then down here will be the body. And then at the bottom here, you want to make sure that that's hat, head, body, booty. Okay. Hat, head. This is too big. This needs to come down. This way. Okay. I think we got it. We're gonna mark these with this here. So this is gonna be the head. This is gonna be my mark because the grip is gonna be up there. So here, and then here's the hat. Okay. And then we got the head. Then up here. I have to adjust on the fly probably here, but if we just get these parts ironed out, we'll end up being able to do it a little better. Could the hat be part of the grip? It could be, but one of the problems is if you're using it as a part of the grip, it's going to be pointy, and it would have to be a really tall hat. Or, well, yeah, that's a lot. It'd have to be a really tall hat, I think, which wouldn't be bad. It's not the look that I would be going for. I don't know. Hey, who knows? Maybe this would just completely fall apart. I mean, I don't think so. What are we doing? What are we doing? So we're gonna go in. Oh, look at that. Point and overturn now. Boom, boom. And then this over the hat. We're gonna take that hat pretty far down. Yep. There we go. And then here's the brim. And then we're going to use our square here. Nice. I'm going to use my fine point here. We're just going to take this straight for a little bit. Straight in. And then we're going to start rounding it. There we go. Look at that. It is normal. Okay, so this is going to come round. We need to be a lot smaller, but just trying to get the approximations here. There we go. That. And then we're going to come across. I think there. Yes. Okay. Looking good. Looking good. I like it. I'm going to go with it. You can kind of see the shape emerging, you know? That's good. I'll take this down a little bit more. Separate the hat from the grip. I'm going to take these down just a little bit more too, to give the appearance of more separation. And then you've got this one that we're going to take down. And then okay. This is going to get smaller. This one's going to get just a little bit smaller, and this is going to try and keep it as thick as I can. Hey, you'd prototype You prototype the shape with some scrap wood? Nah. You just do it live, yo. Because what if it works out the first time? You know? Oh, come on, Sean. No, you're not. How did you learn today? What'd you do? Hmm. Need a little bit more angle here. Okay. Yeah, that needs more love down. We gotta get a little bit smaller, I think. Let's see, that's looking pretty good. Just need to clean that up. Right here. And then up here. Nice. Two. Alrighty. NCA glue to fix. Uh-oh. Did you glue the pin to the mandrel? Go for the bush end, or? The mandrel. Dang. Man, I don't care much for seeing finishes, but, well, I don't like doing it. I like them. I don't like doing it. And partially because they're hard. They're really hard to do. At least do it right. But on the other hand, I could just use more repetitions. It's just a doozy. Alrighty. So that we're getting really close. I think I should trim down the hat a little bit more. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to knock off these corners too. And clean it up just a little bit more around it. All right. What do we think? Is this going to be a project you're going to go do? The head here needs a little bit of now. There we go. That's and just a little bit more to create a little spot there. Much nicer. All right, there we go. Boom. And then the other cool thing that you can, like a little piece of red, and then you wrap it around neck like a scarf. Obviously, this isn't scarf. Kind of get the visual. Boom. Yeah, there you have it. Made a little snowman. We're gonna make another even smaller snowman. Let's see how that goes. Here you go. All right. So this one here is a little bit shorter, about an inch shorter, and I'm going to be trying to get a similar profile. Thank you, sir. Oh, you know what? Oh, you're right. Got to throw some mammary glands on there. That's going to take some Dremel work. All right, I'm not going to do that today. Just joking. It's good. Curve the bottom too. No, you got some. Let's see. You have. Uh, have you used holly? We used holly before. This is supposedly the lightest color wood that that is out there. So I had to get a set because I've never used it. It's cool, but oh my god, nice little snowman turned into that maybe. Let's see. Okay, so our working space is going to be significantly smaller, and a part of me wants to try something a little different, like would these work as a template, you know? So if I was like this, starting with these, which is what, ½ inch, 3/8, and then this is a quarter, yeah, and then a quarter, and then a 1/8, yeah. I think that would be too small. You like holly? That's good. I'm looking forward to it, actually. It's really interesting. I mean, the color variation is like non-existent. It's just like a white piece of wood, but I find that pretty interesting because it's very unusual for wood to be that way. Mm. Okay, we're going to go ahead and mark out the grip part. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go for about 1.25 inches again. Okay. All right. I actually think a little bit more, but here we go. What are we working with? 2 and basically 1/2. So we'll actually bring this over here and here. So now we have 2 inches. Okay, so 2 inches. I'm going to do this to here. And then here. Hat, head, body. That looks good. Good enough. um, I don't. I'm not sure if I do have any up right now or not. Um, is there something specific you were wanting to learn how to do, or like you can make a single body slimline, and that's a pretty cool project. Let's see, I think RJB Wood Turner is the first one I ever saw do that. I didn't mean he invented it or did it first, but he's the first one I saw do the single body slimline. But no, I don't. Head, middle. Okay. Yeah, I usually make like bespoke pins, stuff like that. Make fountain pens. Um, those are what I used to like always make on stream. Um, these are just a little different, but pretty soon, once I finish this one, I'll be changing gears and going into other types of pins. So there's that. Big pieces. What do you mean big pieces? Like this guy? I chopped it down. I'll get. I'll chop this into 4 different pieces. It's a 2x2, so I'll drop it down. Okay. Um, but the videos that I usually do, um, I find it easier to stream. So it just, if I'm editing a lot, that means I'm not turning, you know? And I like I like streaming and hanging out with people, but I'm not big into editing. Um, so I find this to be a little bit simpler in that regard. Hmm. Huh. Sounds like you're doing slimline style pens. And there's nothing wrong with those. They're great. They're a good starting point. I think that they're probably the best starting. Um, the reason I say that is because you're getting repetitions on um, your turning down to the bushings, and then you're getting repetitions with the sanding and polishing process of the same material. So it's basically you're getting 2 reps per pen if you look at it like that. So I think slim lines are a great thing in that regard. But I know some people don't like them. But yeah, what would you be interested in making? Yes, because once you get into like the bespoke pen world, like it really is. What do you want to make? Like it's kind of crazy because there's so many different avenues you can go, um, and the possibilities are pretty limitless, really. If you can think of something, then there's a good chance you can make it. You just got to figure out how, you know. And so I'd say for those reasons, bespoke pens aren't necessarily for everyone because they are challenging and there's a lot of things that can go wrong. But on the flip side, I'd say that they're one of my favorite things to do. But maybe I just like rough relationships. I'm just kidding. But yeah, let's see. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? I had to take that down so I can take this down. I'm going to determine how far I need to go here. And that is too big. Let's to get a straighter here. Nope. You do like challenging. Good. Hmm. I guess I just need to do some more of this guy here. But yeah, I guess it also comes to like, what do you want to turn, and what is the purpose of your turning? Because I mean, there's a lot of avenues you can go. I primarily just spindle turn. I hardly ever turn bowls, but I did try them, and I can do them. I'm just not great at them. That doesn't mean I'm great at turning pins. I try harder in making pins than I do turning bowls, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, getting set up for turning bespoke pins can be expensive. And I've made a video, I think, about how to do it a lot cheaper. Um, Not sure if it's up right now though. I had a what am I going to do in a crisis? I'll be honest. Yeah. What am I going to do with this? I don't know. Just throw it up there. Okay. But I have evaluated those types of things again, and I was like, all right, well, if I don't know what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it down for now until I figure out how exactly and what exactly I'm going to do with it. So, but at the end of the day, what I did is I used a 3/8 and 1/2 inch, and then I made a pin. Like this pin right here is my pocket pin that I carry all the time. It's, a ballpoint pin. It's made with a M12 here, the captain barrel, and this part here it is an M9, and then it fits a Fisher Space Pen refill. So, and Fisher Space Pen has an adapter that makes it the length of a Parker refill. So, if you can figure out how to deconstruct a pen, make the components, then you can reconstruct it in a different way. If that makes sense. But yeah, I like turning pins like that. I find it more entertaining. But I also like doing designs like this and just regular spindle printing too. So big earthquake off the coast of Cali, huh? That's no good. Like, did it just happen? Nice. Oh, you know what, Tom? I do have some other cool projects that I've done um, that are on the channel too, like EDC beads. Those are pretty cool way to use the cutoffs. So you can use it for that, or you can use them for segmenting, or you can use them for finials, you can use them for all kinds of stuff. Um, or if you don't want to use them for anything, sell them to somebody else and they will. They have a big old box with a whole bunch of them. I probably won't ever use that many. And all of them are at least a ½ inch. I actually did take the time to go through that. Okay. Look at this just a little bit more rounded here. Okay. I went too deep on the hat right there. Laura, how you doing? Been watching off and on. Appreciate you. It is. It is a Snowman pen. Admittedly, this is not the most ergonomic. But when you have this type of shape, I don't know how you'd make that more ergonomic. Well, thank you. Yeah, I think so too. These two. Got another one over there. This is the second one. This one is a little bit darker from a different blank. The other one is whiter, and this one has a little bit of a darker contrast in it as well. So it will be a little different. I'll hold them side by side here in a minute once I get it all finished up. But yeah. I think we did one of these last year or the year before, and we gave it away. A little both. Like, it's fun to do a little bit of a festive thing, you know? So, we'll probably do it in a giveaway. They are kind of tedious to make, and then they're also quite tedious to sand because we like to sand in between all the little holes or the little gaps rather. So it is a tedious thing to do, but it is very nifty. Okay. Looking pretty good, I think. That spot right there needs a little bit more moving. There we go. And then put this a little bit. I have to make it deeper. There we go. Kind of define that line where his body ends. But I'd say it's both. It's for fun. And I don't know what Abby plans on doing with them. Maybe I can get her over here. Hey, hey, Abby, can I get you over here? I'll go get her. Okay, we'll turn it off. Bring the snowman pin. Yeah. Okay. Okay, here you go. Here you go. You stay with them. Click it on overview. All right, y'all. I will be right back. I'm going to leave you in these hands. So hopefully, she'll do well in my absence. Here you go.
What am I doing?
I will be right back, my friends. Thank you all for being here. If you could, hit that thumbs up if you don't mind.
How about not yelling in my ear? That'd be cool.
I'm making sure that it can reach the mic.
Still, your camera's weird now. It's like at an angle.
What?
Nothing. Go. It's fine. Hello, Laura. So, one of the snowman pens is going to be for Patreon for next month. And the other is for something else. But yeah, that's going to be our butterfly tier Patreon giveaway for January. So John did one or two of them last year, and they were fun. They are kind of, I don't know, obviously they're very seasonal, as in like this is the only time of year that it makes sense to do any of them. They're also a little bit more complicated, obviously, for him turning and for me sanding. So it's not something we can do like a ton of. So we like to save those kinds of things for fun stuff. Right? Yes, you have to go get her. Stella is in the musical this year at school. It's fine. Go get Stella. She is in, what are they doing? Wizard of Oz. And she is Toto. So I need to remember to order her knee pads because she came home from one of her last rehearsals and was like, Mom, my knees hurt, because she's the dog. She also got really mad because apparently the other kids were petting her on the head during rehearsal, which I don't blame her, but it is a little bit funny that she was getting treated like a dog. Sorry, I'm trying to focus this because John turned off the autofocus, and now I'm going to go mess it all up, of course. No. Sorry. It's bothering me. Also, it might be my eyes because I went to the eye doctor today and I can't tell if they're still dilated or not, but yeah, they are. But I haven't been able to see for like hours now and it sucks. I hate going to the eye doctor and getting my eyes dilated. Anyways, y'all have any questions for me as far as the blanks or I don't know, really any of this stuff? You see John here, he does all the turning, but I do all of our sanding, all of our everything else really. So he makes some good pins. I definitely couldn't do that. I think oh, my eyes are okay. I have a degenerative corneal disease. So I have to go every year to make sure that they're not changing too much. So it's like not fun, but also it was good news. John forgot his phone. But yeah, so it was fine. They're fine. They haven't changed. That's the good news. But yeah, I have to go every year to my special cornea doctor. But yeah, you want to see some of the sanded. These are Tanzanite pen for this week. And Tanzanite is one of December's birthstones. And it's also one of my personal favorite, like semi-precious gemstones. It's pretty rare. It's not being mined anymore in Tanzania. I'm pretty sure they like closed the mines. It's only like this one tiny little area of mines. So there's no more, I guess, that's coming out of the ground. So what's available is all that's available. So that means that they're pretty like rare. And it's really interesting. And the reason I did the ombre like this is because they go from this super light, pale, like lavender purple color to this really saturated blue purple or blurple, if you like that, color. And when you look at it in the sun, the saturated color ones, which are really expensive. I don't have any of that. Mine's like the really light purple, but I love it. But when you look at it in the sun, you can kind of see the different hues of like blue and purple. And so these kind of do that. Like this side has a lot of color shift in it. It's a purple to blue color shift. And so they almost look like they glow, sort of. They're very cool. So yeah, this side is definitely like a light lavender, pinky purple. And then it goes to this side, which has the saturated blue, but in it, especially when you look at it under any light, really, you'll be able to see those hints of purple. So it does go from like a light purple to kind of a blue purple, but more blue than purple on the one end. So it's very cool. They're also packed with extra sparkle stuff in it. One of my favorites to use because it creates like a really cool chatoyant effect in there. And you know me, if you've been around for a while and seen our blanks and our pens, I like all of the color shifts. I don't know. The effect is just my favorite. It's super cool in there. So these all look great, just like I wanted them to. I think I've talked about that before too, is how sometimes they don't look like the way I wanted them to. Not that they're bad, just sometimes I have like a really clear picture in my head of how I want the resin to turn out and look. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes what they end up being is even better than kind of what I imagined. Oh, you want to sneak? Well, I don't have a sneak peek of them. I can't show you the blanks because they're currently curing. But next week is going to be called Peppermint Hearts. So I'm going for that. You know those soft, they're like buttermints, but they're peppermint, or the hard swirly peppermints where they have like the squiggly swirlies of the red and white. So that's on one side. And then they've got red hearts and sparkles on the other side. And I decided to do that because it kind of can take us through the whole couple months of winter. It's both pepperminty and winter, but also a little bit, you know, could go into Valentine's Day. So I hope they look good. I haven't gotten to take them out yet. I pour them and then we do a cure schedule, and then John takes them out of the molds. And I'll be honest, I don't take them out of the molds for multiple reasons. One is kind of hard, like to release the pressure on the bottom of the molds, especially the new ones that we got. They're thicker, more rigid silicone. So you have to be pretty strong. And that's not me. My fingers are not as strong as John's. And then we use the pressure air compressor to essentially shoot out the blanks. And I have absolutely put holes in the ceiling from doing that. And John does not. So, but yeah, thank you. I do like them. We did make, or I made fountain pen blanks of these Tanzanite colorway as well. So those will be coming up on Maverick pens here probably in a couple weeks, but I'll show you guys those and you can see the comparison. So, and what's interesting, well, the kind of difference between the diamond painting size blanks and the fountain pen blanks, obviously there ends up being kind of a bigger spread of colors, especially when I do them like this for the ombres. So I think they're going to turn out pretty darn cool. I haven't decided which side is going to be, because the way John does them is like section cap body. I haven't decided which side is going to be what. So, throwing stuff all over the place. Now y'all can see that most of it's been drop tested. Hello. John was just here turning diamond painting pens for this week and went to go get our daughter from school. And so now he stuck me with the mic and I'm sitting and talking about blanks and colors and really anything anybody wants to ask me that helps, because, you know, and I have things to answer or chat about. But yeah, these are the fountain pen blanks. So our diamond painting pens are made out of 5 1/4 by 3/4 inch molds for the regular sized, and then our larges are made, they're 6 inch by 7/8. And then so that's the difference here with this is a bespoke kitless pen blank size, and these are almost 9 inches. So that's the difference there. Yeah, he ran away. He just like threw the mic at me and was like, here, still be here, chatting. And he sneaks in the week after next. I am deciding, which I guess y'all could help me decide, because I haven't poured them yet, between frozen, like that, it's going to be like the icy blue and the colors like silver and white with snowflakes, or I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do a like full-on Christmas colored like colorway this year. I have in the past, and it kind of goes one way or the other for certain people. Like some people love it and love the highly themed pens, but then there's a lot of people that also are like, it's a little too specific time of year for me. But for the Christmas ones, I was going to do gold and silver leaf flakes. And then I was going to do gold and silver and red and green on the 2 different sides. But I think I might scratch the red and green and just do silver and gold. So I don't know if y'all have seen, I think of one of the ones recently. So like the rose gold pens that I did, I don't know, like a month or more ago, they had like the solid mica colors on the one side, and then they had the amazing, they were real copper flakes on the other side, and it gives such a different effect than like glitters or other stuff. So those are my plans. I haven't made those yet because I got to wait for the peppermint heart ones to come out. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do frozen one, but I don't know. So maybe that'll be what I do for next week, because I also have to think about overall what colors I'm doing, like in certain orders, because I don't want to do too many similar colors back to back. Because if it was just up to me and I was only making like my favorite colors, everything would be blue and purple, and then y'all would get real tired of it. So I have to figure out, you know, what I want and when. And then that'll probably take us, I guess, to the end of December for the next 2, and we'll be into January. And with these, I am finally done with birthstones. I don't know that I'm ever going to commit to anything this like I'm doing it the whole year again, especially with birthstones, it was like, okay, it's this specific color, and I had to figure out how to make it close to the color, but also like fun. And I think I did pretty good with most of them. There's a couple that I was like, well, they're very specifically just this color. So I'm excited to be done with the birthstone pens, and Tanzanite was the perfect ending to doing birthstone colors all year. Just how idea would be up to making a blank for me to make a pepper grinder. What size blank would you need for that? Because it kind of depends. I'm not sure we actually have a mold that would work for a pepper grinder handle, because most of our molds are vertical, like skinny blank molds. And I could look at our other ones, but maybe. What colors did you have in mind? I really only, for custom blanks, we used to sell blanks. But one of the things that we realized with the diamond painting pens and the fountain pens is that we wanted them to be like our, proprietary kind of thing. It's what made us us. But for other stuff, we don't make pepper grinders. So maybe, especially if it's here for like people that watch the stream, it wouldn't be something that I offered anywhere else. 2.5 by 5. I'd have to look at our molds. International collab. Let me grab my phone so I can take a picture and remember. I'll be right back. Oh, and also, thank you, Laura. I'm glad you liked the birthstone ones. I loved most of them, as I do with some of the stuff. And I won't tell you ones that I didn't love as much, because I don't want you to take away from anyone's opinions of them or whatever. Yeah, this is just so I can remember the size of the mold, and I'll talk to him about it. But yeah, there were some that came out, not really of the birthstone pens, but sometimes I get my blanks out and I'm like, I don't love those. And I had one, and I'll tell you what it was. I don't know if y'all remember, Laura, the precious metals pens that we did. It's probably about a year ago now, but I did copper and gold and silver, and I hated them. Oh my God, they came out and I was so unhappy with them. And I like put off us making them, and then they were super popular. Everyone loved them. So it's just a good reminder that stuff like that is not just my personal, like opinion. Yeah, it would definitely be in inches for us. Now, where are you located? What country? Because I know they're coming out with a new kind of rule, law, etc. for Europe that we are still trying to figure out as far as what we're going to be allowed to sell. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to affect Denmark or not. So I'll have to look into it. But yes, there's some kind of new safety code or something, and we're not sure what we have to do to be compliant to be able to continue to sell to Europe, because it's some kind of safety thing. I don't know if we have to be like, we have to get some type of inspection done. I have no idea, honestly. I love the blues and purples. Yeah, those are my favorite, or teals. And it's been a while since I've done something like that. I think the frozen pens will be fun. Those are that like icy blue is one of my favorites. And the snowflakes I have are those iridescent. They're like almost clear looking, but then in the light they catch and they look so pretty. They're some of my favorites. I think I put them out so that I can show y'all. There we go. Anyways, they look like this. The snowflakes do. Oh my God, they're gonna be hard to see in the bag. You see a little kind of snowflake shapes, but they're like, I don't know. They're really cool. The effect is neat. And I like some shaped glitter. They work better than some other shaped glitters for us, because we try really hard to make sure that the glitters don't get cut off when we're making the pens, if that makes sense. Yeah, the new e-rules. Some people are like putting a hold on like they're like telling customers that they're not going to be able to, or they don't know if they're going to be able to sell to them or not. And we're kind of in the same boat because we're not really sure the specifics of the rule yet, or if we're going to need like a lawyer or, you know, really what. I'm sorry, I'm messing with the camera. John's going to come back and be like, you screwed it up. But yeah, it's absolutely going to not only affect a lot of small businesses like ours, but it's also going to make it so that all these customers aren't going to be able to get the things that they want to purchase from makers in the US. And I know that we have a lot of makers here of all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be sad times on both sides if it's something that's going to be out of reach for most small businesses, whether it's because I don't know if it's going to financially take something for us to like certify it, or if we have to get a lawyer, or like what is even involved. But it's a bummer for sure. So yeah, one of the frozen pens. So the new restrictions for EU, it's like GS. I don't remember what the actual like bill or thing that's passing. It doesn't pass until December 13th. And it's restricting, non-food items out of the US to Europe. So we all have to figure out if it affects us or not. So, but yeah, it's especially, for us being with our diamond painting pens on Etsy, like Etsy sent out this long thing and is like, it's on y'all. We can't advise you, so it's kind of great. John's texting me on his watch because he forgot his phone. But anyways, hopefully it won't be as complicated as it currently seems, but it is going to be a bummer if we're not going to be able to sell to Europe, because we have a lot of customers there and we love all of our customers, including international. We always want to try to ship internationally if we can to a bunch of different countries. I couldn't find a place in Etsy where I could see, because I really wanted to, like, those maps that they have where you can like scratch off where you've shipped to. I've seen those for the US. I don't know if I've seen like world ones, but it's pretty cool, all of the different countries that we've shipped to. Yeah, it sounds like a bad thing to me too. It's supposed to be protecting European customers from dangerous goods, I guess, dangerous handmade goods. For us, our resin, whether it's in blank form or we've turned it, it's a solid piece of plastic, essentially. Obviously we've got, for diamond painting pens, we've got tips. For fountain pens, we've got nibs and stuff. But it can't really hurt you. Like, what are you going to do that it's going to hurt you? I don't know. Maybe we have to put warnings on it to not eat it, or be careful with the small pieces and stuff like that. I'm not really sure what exactly the things are, but it's definitely going to hurt people like us who hand make everything. So I don't know. Sounds bad to me too, but we'll figure it out. We'll find out what we have to do. I'm kind of waiting for some other people maybe to figure it out so that I can watch some smart person talk about it on like YouTube or something, because I'll be honest, that kind of stuff is right over me and John's head. He's not savvy with that kind of stuff either. So, but I don't know. Temu is having problems, so that's good, but small business is a problem. Temu's crazy, man. It's nuts. And the crazier thing, I don't know about markets, in Europe as much, but the US, the amount of stuff that the US imports, from China is crazy. And, cutting out all the middlemen essentially on Amazon to buy things directly from Temu. People have a big, I don't know, like a thing against all the stuff that some people are buying on Temu and saying that it's like hurting businesses in the US, but the businesses that it's hurting in the US is ones that also buy their stuff from China. It's not really hurting people that are hand making stuff, unless it's just someone that doesn't want to pay for a handmade item, which is a whole different, customer base as it is. But I don't know. Temu's just kind of cutting out the middleman. I'm not surprised they're having issues though, because the bigger like evil of Temu is the fact that because it's a bunch of direct manufacturers in China, is they're copying all kinds of designs of designers and companies and people, and even individual people for art or for clothing designs or whatever else. And they're just ripping them off like straight up. And it's got to be so hard internationally to like go after a company like Temu for them stealing your intellectual property and stuff like that. Yeah, awesome. I will. Once we figure out what we even need to do, I have to decide whether I need to like turn off international shipping or not before then, or turn off for Europe, because we also, I guess the second country that we ship the most to is Canada. So I don't think and that's a whole other issue right now, is that Canada is having postal strike. So hopefully that'll be over, because I feel really bad for anybody's packages that are currently stuck in the limbo that is the Canadian Post. Etsy actually took down the US Postal Service option to ship to Canada because of it. So there's other options in there. It should be FedEx and UPS and all that stuff. I know, I'm so sorry, Laura. I feel so bad, and it sucks so much, because it's probably my least favorite thing about the job that we do, is that we're dependent on these shipping services to get our products to our customers. And so we have insurance on, I think pretty much everything that we send up to a certain amount. So when stuff gets broken or like truly lost, we can do something about it. But for things like that, where it's not lost, they know where it is, and it's like an out of everybody's control kind of thing, it just kind of sucks for everybody. It sucks for y'all as a customer, because you paid money for your product, and it sucks for us because we made it and shipped it, and it's like, it's just all crappy all around. And I hate the Postal Service this time of year, because we ship all year. We ship between 50 and 100 packages every single week, all 52 weeks of the year. There's a couple weeks where we skip and then we have to double up, so it's like double the packages, but we ship all year. And this time of year is always when the Postal Service either has issues where like things aren't getting scanned, or they're like being stuck in weird places for a while, because they get so much busier with other people shipping more during the holidays. They're laying people off. Ugh, I understand why things like the Postal Service go on strike, but it sucks that it hurts people, that it hurts other people, essentially. I understand why, but also I think the effect of some of these strikes hurts a lot of people. We've always been able to ship other ways. I'm pretty sure it should have been an option on Etsy. We've got all of them enabled. It's just that 95+% people choose the cheapest option, which was the USPS. So Etsy also has an international shipping like forwarding service that I don't know if they can avoid Canadian Post because of it. But I'm pretty sure UPS and FedEx has always been an option. It's expensive. So unfortunately, it costs a lot. Yeah, and that's another thing. Although the holidays are always kind of slow for our drops as far as those go. So people generally have more time. So I know that's kind of the weird, we walk a weird line with that of trying to be the most efficient and get stuff out to the most people. And, but also, yeah, I get it. But yes, I think the cheapest option, which is either Etsy's international shipping or USPS, is the first one, because it always shows the cheapest option, but there are options to upgrade the shipping to tracked for international or UPS or FedEx. But it's expensive. So I don't know. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. You forgot your phone and I'm losing my voice.
Jeez, that didn't take very long.
No, I was already kind of, yeah, something like that. Well, it was
You
nice.
didn't bore everybody, did you?
It was nice of you to pop in and chat. John's back now. So he was asking about a pepper mill blank, but it's 5 by 2.5 inches. So I got to look at our molds. Anyways, have a good sleep. He'll be on, I think he said most days. We're trying to get into a schedule of lives.
If you did that big block, you'd be able to get 4.
I don't think he wants 4. Maybe he does.
Well, I'm just saying. 5 by
2.5.
Yeah, 5 by 2.5, but half a 2.5 or half a 5 is 2.5, so it's a 5 by 5 by 5.
Or I could
We'd be
not.
able to get
I
4
could
out of it.
not pour it all the way full, and then we could have.
Well, then you can't
No,
really
I guess
measure it.
yeah. I don't know. We do have some big block molds, but I rarely use them because that is not my, area of expertise. And what we do is the vertical resin pours, and that is a whole different technique than doing blocks. How's Stella?
Good. She's going
Hungry?
on a bike ride.
She is. She usually comes home and has a snack.
That's because she was trying to get on her iPad. They said, no iPad. You got exercise first.
I need to order her knee pads to be Toto. I was telling them.
Yeah.
She's so excited that she got a main part because she did the musical last year with her sister. Evie's in middle school now, so she's not there to also do the musical with Stella. So I was happy that Stella decided to do it even without her sister. And Evie was a main part. They did Moana last year for their school musical, and Evie was the mom, Moana's mom. So she had some lines and some solo singing. I don't think Stella's going to have any solo singing as Toto, which is probably a good thing, but she does get to bark at everybody. So, do you have any more to turn, or are you done with?
Done.
Yeah. I'm not.
I figured.
You got to figure out dinner again. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. It's always a crazy time of year here because the kids and us have so much going on with just school and family and all that. So, yep.
Yeah, it could be a fun collab.
I took a picture so I could remember, so I could look at it.
We might even be able to do hybrid.
Oh gosh, we'd have to seal more burl again. Not that was hard. It's just most people use stabilized wood, and we do it a little bit differently because we don't have a vacuum chamber and cactus juice, and I don't want that. How are you making that face?
Because
it's terrible.
We just shellac it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Most people stabilize it, but we don't have this stuff to stabilize it. We also don't want this stuff to stabilize it.
They stabilize it if the wood's old and dry.
Can you imagine what a mess with cactus juice that I would make? Have you ever seen pictures of all the sticky?
Yes, I can imagine what that would be like.
I'm kind of a mess. Just a little bit. A lot of it.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done. I gotta go sand.
You're doing good work.
But I did show them. They're very pretty. We talked about what, yes, we do have a pressure pot. We have 2 California Air Tools 5-gallon pressure pots. So we shellac and pressure pot it because that's kind of the workaround for doing hybrids because it does push the shellac into the wood. And it's worked great because when we first started casting with some wood, we didn't do anything. And then you get those bubbles. It would ruin the oven. Yeah, I would for sure ruin the oven and probably everything. I know a lot of people use little toaster ovens like in the garage, or if they've got the cash for it, they use like lab ovens because toaster ovens can catch your workshop on fire.
It's happened.
Yeah.
You keep an eye out in Facebook group, people have done it.
Yeah, which sucks. And that would be really bad. So no ovens for me. At least not in a
Some
garage.
people microwave the wood.
Yeah, that's not while they've got the cactus juice on them.
No.
So some people do that to dry it out. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. That is what we do. We put the wood, we coat it and put it in the pressure pot, and it like pushes it into all the
Make sure it's nice and wet.
pores of the wood, and then that keeps it from the air and moisture escaping when it's touching the resin. Because we have old ones that are over there, and you can see there's these big old holes where the wood's touching the resin because of you did buy a second oven for that. Smart, because we only have one, but we also don't have room for another oven to do that.
Not right now.
No. But honestly, resins are bread and butter. John's talking about doing a bunch of wood stuff, but that's for him.
That's a side project.
That's because John wants to do it, which is great.
That's a side project.
We're trying to figure out the details for that. You told him that the ebonite was coming?
Yes, I did mention that it finally shipped, so we'll probably see it in next month.
Ish. Who knows?
Coming from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Got a big order. I was telling him I think it's probably about 15 meters of ebonite.
It's a lot. We ordered a lot of black for all of your wood pens, and then we ordered custom.
And it was a 3-meter minimum for that.
You do it at your workplace. Yeah. Our workplace is our house. So yeah, we can't burn down our house. I believe it. It makes less mess to keep it out. But we hope to one day be able to either build or buy with a whole separate workshop that is separate from our house and not attached to it.
220 power that can be dropped down to.
We need more voltage for sure. More plugs.
Yeah.
More plugs. Better.
110, yeah.
Bigger air compressor, bigger dust collection, bigger everything. That's the goal. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking.
Well, pretty soon I'm gonna just set you up for your own stream.
No, I don't mind being a guest.
Thank you. Thank you for hanging.
Yeah. Bye,
Here's
guys.
the microphone.
I can just make hand gestures.
You could. I could put it on a turning tool.
Oh, that's cool. There are a couple woodworking equipment shops that are near us that we actually did talk about John. Oh, don't
going to work at.
John going to work at, so that he would have access to all that stuff and get to talk to people about things that he likes, which is turning stuff and wood and whatever.
I also tried to go, without being an employee, I tried to go to a place and say, hey, I want to do a demo here. Can I do that?
Like, no.
And they're like, no, that's only for employees. It's like, why?
They have pretty good hours too, but we work full time. So that would be a lot to take even another part-time job. But
unless I could turn at work there, but that's not a viable thing.
They would let you do
Can't do much customer service in that way. Oh my. Oh my. Let me get my apron back on. That way I have a place to put the mic. That's literally the only reason I'm wearing it. Ugh. But yeah, I imagine that's pretty cool. Stuck with y'all, man. I'm so fortunate I have the opportunity to be with you. That's how I look at it. Yeah. Love it. But no, it wasn't like trying to get away. It was to actually immerse myself even more. Yeah. That was at least the intention. Not to mention the good deals that you could get as an employee there, you know. Get like a big percentage. You love doing demos and teaching? Do it. Do it. I've been thinking about doing like virtual teaching. Yeah. Been thinking about it. I haven't done it. Haven't set anything up, but yeah, I was thinking about that. That'd be pretty fun to do. Because I know some people don't like to speak up that they don't know something. If it's more than one, if it's more than them, sometimes they don't like to say that they don't know something. So they'd rather just keep quiet and not slow down the whole teaching process. But you know, there's the teaching process and the learning process, and there's a good balance of both of those. And just got to ask questions. Yeah. Anywho, I was going to continue the, well, clean up my mess here, and then cool. You just got contacted to do a demo for wood turning. Wood turning 360. What does that mean? Well, that'll be awesome. What are you going to be demoing? But that's awesome. And then when? All kinds of questions. Oh, wood turning club. Cool.
Oh, will you hand me my box of bandage pins?
Oh, good deal. Wood turning club, and you're making salt and pepper grinders.
Wait.
Nice. An online club. Interesting. Is this outside of Facebook? The only other one that I know of is not even a club, but
There was a local pin turning group. Remember that you talked to that guy, and they did have
that was Waxaw Wood Turners.
But they did have remote. You could they streamed to their members, the people that couldn't come in person.
Interesting. Well, I hope it goes awesome for you, man. Thanks. Heck yeah. Good deal. I hope they're comping your time. Or are you doing it as a volunteer? Oh, that's what it's called. Oh, okay, I misunderstood. I thought Wood Turning 360 was like a curriculum or a style of teaching or something. Okay. I will look into that. It'll be interesting. Let me go ahead and pop it up here. All right. There. I got it pulled up. I'll take a look at it in a little bit or after I'm done here. But yeah, I was thinking about doing some other stuff, but you know what? It's been a pretty good day. I gotta say, it's been a pretty productive day. Did a lot of stuff. So I might not. I might go work on some of the spreadsheets that I've got for my wood stuff because the ebonite is coming. I want to make sure I got that stuff ironed out. That way it's got profiles for the different wood and I have a document for it. And then I'm thinking about having it as a Google document that people can go look at, and that'll be pretty cool, I think. But I got to continue building it up. I've been on the stairs for 20. Right on, man. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me. You too. You too, man. What is the wood we're getting? So the wood is like all kinds of wood. Um, the I've got Purple Heart, Padauk, Ironwood, leopard wood, zebra wood, snake wood, all kinds of animals. But what I was talking about is we're actually getting ebonite, which is a it's rubber. It's vulcanized rubber, and what I'm going to be doing is building a pen out of it. So this is ebonite. It just looked like a black stick, but it's rubber. It has it smells like a tire, really. Smells like a rubber or a tire store. If you've ever been to inside of a tire store, that's what it smells like when you're turning it. But the reason I'm going to use the ebonite is because it is basically, it's just black and it'll be good for ink, protecting the pen basically from ink. And ebonite's, yeah, it's warmer feeling and your fingers can heat up the material a little faster, but yeah. So got a lot of different wood already. I just need to cut it down to the size. Yep, they'll be for fountain pens. Uh-oh, disconnecting. That's not good. But yeah, I probably could have done a different material. It just, ebonite's actually really nice to turn. It's yeah, it's just, I guess it's kind of hard to explain, but it's not as hard as resin and not too soft to where it warps. It's just a very, very nice material to turn. Here's a piece of ebonite here. Let's see. I guess I've moved that pen. But yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun. So the plan for that is going to be streaming it and then putting it as a video as well. That way I can have each pin in associated with a video. That way it could be easily gone back to look at. And so I got to still figure out a few more things when it comes to like the design element of it and then the implementation of it. But yeah, we're very close on both of those things. But yes. But yeah, wood is one of those things where some people like wood and some people don't care about wood at all. So I guess it's an interesting thing. There are some woods I'm not looking forward to, this being one of them. This is palm black, which think Mike pointed out that it was a grass. I'm pretty sure that is right. I think it is a grass as well. Let's see. I don't know if you can see the little black dots here. You can see all those little black dots. Those are actually like little wood fibers. So there is that. You'd be interested. Oh yeah. Well, they might be. They might be lighter. I have quite a few of them actually. They're just sitting in queue. So I've actually got a few. We'll hop over to the other camera here and I can show you. So these are Purple Heart and these are Thoya Burl. And these are all threaded actually. I don't know if you can see the inside, but they're threaded for a tip that shall not be named. But you may have seen something that looks similar to this. Yeah. Yeah. So they are threaded. At least these are. Let's see. And then, oh yeah, sorry, I might have pronounced it wrong, but yeah, that. But we got Purple Heart and Thoya, and for wood we don't do wazoo shapes. Video, they're pretty cool. Pretty cool. I have a lot of them prepped, but you know, I got to convince somebody to you know, to finish them. And I will say the wood, if you finish the wood with a CA finish, it's it takes a while. It really does take quite a while, especially with it having different shapes. Well, different bumps really, because when you're sanding something with CA on it and it has the bumps like that, it's spinning, right? So when you're sanding it and you have that pressure, your hand actually has to move with the contours of the different shapes, or you'll end up sanding too deep. And what'll happen is you'll sand that layer of CA away, then you have to go back and start it all over. So having that consistent pressure while you're moving with that is the reason wood is so much more challenging when you're like this. If you had like a flat, then it's quite a bit easier. So yeah, just a thing. I guess I can't imagine that you would use it if you're not a turner, but now you know a little bit more about it, I guess. And that's a part of why we don't. Yeah. But there is, you know, other ways to do it. But you know, everything that goes out is a reflection of us, and we want to do our best to, you know, have it be the best that we can do. And it's one of those things where it's hard to change sometimes, you know. Hey Kevin, how you doing? Yep, still here. Mike said there was a an earthquake in Cali. Was that today or recent? Are you all right? Yeah, they are pretty cool. Also, Doya smells good too. I don't know how exactly to explain what it smells like, but it kind of has a little bit of a faded cedar smell to it. And it's a bit more of an oily wood, really. Hey man, that's good. I'd rather that be the case. Hopefully California doesn't fall off. But yeah. All of these over here actually, yeah, so I got like, those are already turned, and then I've got all of these that are actually ready to be turned. All of these are, you know, already drilled and prepped, ready to be turned. So we're ready. Just got to find the way that we want to implement them. So somebody likes our wood. Abby. 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 Somebody's interested.
No, I'm not doing that.
That's okay.
My mom's. With threaded?
Those are threaded.
They're all threaded.
Yeah, they don't have to be threaded. These are all not. I don't know. My man. Thank you. It is nice.
Oh, it's super cool.
It is nice. Ooh. You know, there's one more thing that I'm actually kind of excited about. Okay, I'm not kind of excited, but I actually have one of these set aside for a DP. I'll hop over here so you can get the full effect. Make sure the boom. Alrighty, well, I guess I'll just stay. Anyway, so we got this. This here is going to be for a diamond painting pen. So once we reach a certain point of or threshold, we will actually go ahead and turn that into a diamond painting pen. Probably to give away or sell. I'm not sure. I like giving stuff away. I think it's fun. And then here's another piece that I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do with. Man, that camera does not want to get that very well, does it? Let's hop over here. See if we can get a better one, better view. Here we go. Alrighty. There we go. So this is pretty cool. This is a different material. It's called Operex. The lighter one. Yeah. Got a couple other cool ones that aren't blanks that Abby made, but these two as well. So this is a combination of I think they call it lizard skin and snake skin or scales or something like that, to where you can, like, this kind of looks like the belly of a snake, and then the side looks like the scales of a lizard. And then this is a micarta, which is also pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, I got quite a bit of Juma. So we've got a lot of materials that we're going to end up working through. So it'll be fun. Just we gotta get to it, you know? Gotta get to it. And then we've done the micarta before, and I think gave it away. But we also have some of the dragon scale Juma in the different colors. So these are pretty cool. They're scaly. It's kind of hard to see, I guess. They look really cool. Look cooler in person than they do on camera. But as with pretty much everything. But yeah, still trying to figure out what we're going to do with some of these. And yeah, it's fun. I like it. It is neat. And we try to, you know, incorporate things that are fun and different and like that, because there's a good chance that people haven't seen it or don't know what it is or have never heard of it. And shoot, there's a lot of stuff that I haven't heard of. Especially some of the older materials, which is really neat. Some of the blanks, like this ebonite blank here, it was handmade. Somebody handmade this, and it's also the vulcanized rubber. So they basically get all these little swirls, and then they press them all together with the right heat and pressure and all that jazz, and then it just forms like that. So it really is interesting. But this one was well, that one was steep. That was a steep blank. That's why I only have one. But yeah. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Like, that's the beauty of it all. I want to keep streaming, want to keep doing this. And it's fun. I want to share all the cool stuff. But yeah. If you can get past the smell of sulfur, ebonite is actually a pretty cool material that I've thought about turning into a DP pen. You liked it, Thoya? Did you like the 3 or 4 bumper? I think the 4 I did quite a bit thinner. So I was just trying out different stuff. Trying to check I also was trying to test the limits of how thin I could make them. And then see how well it would thread. So, four's your favorite. Do you like a skinnier or thicker? These started about just under an inch, but not quite as small as 3/4 for some. Some of them are just like 0.8, which is a little weird, but it's nice. Nicer, but still a little weird. Alrighty. I'll keep you in mind. See if I can put in a good word. The regular at the smallest is about a 1/2 inch. Yep, at the smallest point, it's about a 1/2 inch, which is the size of the outside of a Sharpie, like this. This is about the outer, or the narrowest part. Yeah. The heck yeah. But yes, yes indeed. I think it's a good stream. I think we had a good stream. You're not super what? Ah, right on. Gotcha. Not that's good. You're probably one of the most ideal customers any person could ever hope for. And I very much appreciate it. Yes, indeed. I agree. I agree. It helps the hand to change it up. Yeah. I got a question for you. What are your thoughts on single-sided? Nope. Okay. Well, good to know. Gotta have gotta have both sides. That's another one that we got in the works that we're thinking about. But one of those things that we're kind of taking our time. Yeah, I can see that. It's strange because let's see, my mom, when she was doing a lot of her diamond painting, she would only use a single placer. She used a single placer the whole time, and she did tons of canvases. Like, say she's done 50, 50 plus, somewhere around there. So it's kind of crazy, really. Yeah. multi-place for a lot more. Yeah. Well, yeah. She did a lot of it. And she was doing it for a long time. Like 8+ years. Yeah. Those are fun too. Those are fun. I did make a magic wand. It was a nice long piece of cedar. I think it was about 18 inches that my dog ate. He was a puppy though. But yeah, he ate it. It was one of my first projects that I ever turned. Yeah. But yeah, this is kind of one of them. It wouldn't be exactly like this. This is actually something different. This is a drill log nib holder. Whoa, that we cracked. Wow, that's weird. But yeah. Dude, look at that. Hey, Abby. It's all right. This is a template one where I test out stuff. I test out things before I do them. Got a lot of testers. Just close that back. Some things just shouldn't see the light of day. But yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Shoot. I got to go figure it out. I got to go figure some stuff out. Get that sheet worked on a little bit for a call it a day. So I appreciate you all hanging out. Let's see. Laura, thank you so much. Kevin, good seeing you. Mike and Oliver and all the other people that came. Sean. Who am I missing? I'm missing some people. Missing some people, but I don't can't think of them off the top of my head. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Have a good day.